Victoria Vivians remains the heart and star for unbeaten Mississippi State. Vic Schaefer knew exactly who he needed to call first, so he dialed Chad Harrison at Scott Central High in Forest, Miss, and made his pitch. "We're going to build a fence around the state," Schaefer, who arrived at Mississippi State in 2012, told Harrison. He talked to Harrison until his plane headed back to College Station, where the then assistant at Texas A&M had to prep for an NCAA tournament game. "Got up the clouds and I lost cell contact," Schaefer told USA Today Sports. His message to Harrison: "We're going to keep the best players home, and it starts with Tori." Schaefer, of course, was talking about Victoria Vivians, the 6'1" guard out of Scott Central who would finish her high school career with 5,745 points, leading the nation in scoring at 46.2 points per game her senior year. The key to turning the Bulldogs into a top 10 program, not a top 25 team, which Schaefer likes to say come and go but a top 10 program with staying power, was Vivians. The first two classes, last year's seniors and then this group, they really had to believe in a vision when there wasn't one to see, Schaefer said. For Vivians, it was an easy choice. "Most schools have their own big thing, like everybody's already done something," she said. "But I wanted to come here and grow the program, make Mississippi State into a school where people want to come." Check that one off the to-do list. Now a senior, Vivians averages 19.3 points and 6 rebounds a game, shooting 53.5% for MSU, 19.050 SEC, one of 3 undefeated teams in college women's basketball. UConn and Louisville are the others. The number 3 Bulldogs have won 19 in a row, but the number Schaefer likes most is 111. That's how many wins the 2017 senior class totaled over 4 years, the last coming in an overtime thriller against Connecticut when Morgan "Itty Bitty" Williams hit the pull-up heard round the world that slayed the Giant, 66-64 in last year's semifinals. The Bulldogs lost to SEC rival South Carolina in the title game. That game also snapped the Huskies' 111-game winning streak that stretched over 4 years. It was a stunning turnaround from the 2016 postseason, when UConn hammered Mississippi State 98-38 in the Sweet 16. And yet, the Bulldogs still feel like we're playing with that same edge, Vivians said, because respect is hard to come by in a game dominated by one team, Connecticut, for so many years. When Schaefer recruited Vivians, one of his biggest selling points was that she wouldn't have to do it by herself, that they'd put players around her to ease the load. In high school she had to do it every night with 3 people hanging on her, Schaefer said. People would put 3 people on her and let the other 2 guard the rest of the 4. But good luck figuring out how to guard Vivians and Tori McCowan, one of the best post players in the country. McCowan averaged 19 minutes off the bench last season, scoring 8.7 points and grabbing 7.1 rebounds per game. Those numbers helped her win SEC 6th Woman of the Year. The 6'7" forward spent all summer getting in better shape. Now she's nearly doubled her output, averaging 21 points and 12.7 rebounds per game, while shooting 66% from the field, 6th best in the country. "You win a lot of games with 4 senior guards," Schaefer said. "In 33 years of coaching this is the best offensive team I've ever had or been a part of. I think good guard play is what allows us to be as good as we are, plus a 6'7" junior who's been through the wars." But the heart of Mississippi State is Vivians, a homebody who likes to drive back to Forest on off days for her grandma's home-cooked soul food. She's not worried about stuffing herself each week with fried chicken, collard greens, cornbread and sweet tea because I'll just run it off the next day in practice when we're doing all our defensive drills. Schaefer estimates the Bulldogs will lose close to 100 season tickets when Vivians graduates at the end of this season. But first, they've got a few things to take care of. First up is Sunday's game at number 7 Tennessee, a longtime powerhouse in women's basketball. Though the Bulldogs have finished in front of Lady Vols in the last 2 SEC regular seasons, Getting a victory against the program that Pat Summitt built still carries weight. I think anytime you go into Rocky Top in front of 15,000 and win there, it's a big deal, Schaefer said. It continues to be a great basketball school with passionate fans and players whose skill set is off the charts. They've got veterans, but they also have some young kids who don't realize they're in the biggest, baddest conference in the country. They're just enjoying playing basketball and wondering, who's next, coach? Schaefer likes to call that the joy of youth, a characteristic he remembers well with Vivians' class when they were freshmen. Now that youthful ignorance has blossomed into confident experience. The win against UConn last season didn't just give Vivians and her teammates a highlight worthy of leading SportsCenter. It enforced to them what Schaefer had been preaching for years, that they, too, could be an elite program. Hoisting a trophy would help solidify that. Said Vivians, if we can beat them, which we've done, then we can get back to the championship game. And we talked about championships when we got here.